You can give 20 years of your life, wake up early, stay late, push through exhaustion, collect paycheck after paycheck, and still wake up one day with a quiet, sinking feeling that almost nothing stayed. The rent got paid. The car didn't break down. This time, the debt didn't get worse. The emergencies didn't take you under. But somehow, none of it feels like it was ever yours. Life kept moving, but very little of your work became something you still owned. That is the quiet reason many people never build wealth. Money came in, but nearly all of it stayed trapped in maintenance mode. It kept the month alive without changing the future. And earning money was never the same thing as building wealth. A paycheck proves that you worked. It does not prove that the work created something you still own. You can earn more than someone else and still have less savings, more debt, fewer investments, less breathing room. Income tells you what entered your life. Wealth is what remained after life took its share. And for a lot of people, almost nothing remains long enough to become ownership. The paycheck arrives. Rent takes its part. Groceries cost more than expected. The credit card wants its payment. Insurance renews. The car needs something. A family member needs help. Then one small problem becomes a $400 problem. You make it through. And that feels like success. Because some months, surviving really is the win. But survival has a hidden cost. When every dollar is protecting today, tomorrow keeps waiting for whatever survives. And most months, nothing does. Not because you are lazy, not because you waste every paycheck, not because you fail to understand money. Sometimes life is simply expensive before you ever get a chance to make a long-term decision. But the pattern still matters. Because if every paycheck is used only to maintain your current life, your future keeps depending on another paycheck, then another, then another. That is how someone can work for decades without their money ever becoming strong enough to work without them. The problem is not that your income disappeared for no reason. The problem is that everything reached it before ownership did. Bills had a place, debt had a place, spending had a place. Emergencies forced their way in. But building wealth was left waiting for the end of the month. And the end of the month had nothing left to give. Most people save in this order: get paid, handle bills, spend through the month, deal with whatever appears, then save what remains. But wealth rarely grows from money that accidentally survives, because life is very good at finding a use for unprotected money. An extra $50 becomes takeout during a stressful week. An extra $200 gets absorbed by a repair. A little breathing room turns into another monthly payment. Then payday comes back, and the cycle resets. The first wealth building decision is not choosing a stock. It is not finding the perfect investment. It is deciding that part of your income is not available for everything else, even if the amount is small. Because ownership begins when some of your work stops being consumed by the present. That does not mean ignoring real life. An emergency fund matters. Cash savings matters. Money for repairs, medical costs, job gaps, and upcoming expenses matters. Savings keeps one problem from becoming new debt. It gives you room to breathe. It keeps one emergency from destroying the plan. But protection and growth have different jobs. Savings protects money from the next problem. Long-term ownership gives money the chance to become more than what you earned. And many people never reach that second step. They save a little. Life hits. The savings disappears. They rebuild it. Life hits again. After years of effort, they feel like they are starting over every few months. That can make investing feel unrealistic. How are you supposed to think about 10 years from now? when next Thursday keeps creating problems. But this is why the order matters. Surviving comes first, then stability, then ownership, then growth. The mistake is believing you must become perfectly secure before ownership can begin. Perfect security may never come. There will always be another bill, another repair, another reason to wait. And waiting can quietly become the entire plan. Then the raise comes. Finally, more money. For a few months, there is space. The pressure drops. You can breathe. Then the new income starts receiving new jobs. The apartment improves. The car payment grows. Convenience becomes normal. Subscriptions multiply. Eating out becomes easier. Expectations rise. And somehow, the raise disappears without ever feeling reckless. The income increased, but the amount being converted into ownership stayed the same. That is the part people miss. More income creates opportunity, but opportunity is not the same as outcome. A raise can improve your lifestyle, or it can reduce how long your lifestyle depends entirely on work. It can do both, but only when part of the increase is protected before the new income becomes normal. Because once your lifestyle learns the larger number, it becomes much harder to take that money back. And spending has another advantage. It gives you something immediately. You buy the phone, you see the upgrade, you feel the comfort, you solve the inconvenience. Building wealth is quieter. The first retirement contribution may not change how your life feels. The investment account may move slowly. The early progress can look unimpressive. You give up money today, and nothing dramatic happens tomorrow. That delay makes ownership easy to postpone. Spending changes how life feels now. Building wealth can look like nothing is happening until years of small decisions begin working together. That is why consistency often matters more than excitement. But many people keep waiting to feel ready. I need to earn more. I need to understand everything. I will start after the debt. I will start after the next raise. I will start when life settles down. The problem is, life rarely announces that it has settled down, and complete certainty never arrives. You should understand what you are doing. You should learn the risks. You should not blindly put money into something because someone online made it sound easy. But postponing the subject for 10 years is still a financial decision. You do not need to know everything before you begin learning. And you do not need a huge amount before you begin building the habit of ownership. Sometimes the first step is simply checking what already exists. Does your job offer a retirement plan? Is there an employer contribution? What are the fees? What are the investment choices? Can the contribution happen automatically? Some people spend years searching for the perfect opportunity while ignoring the wealth building system already connected to their paycheck. Because the strongest system is often not the one that feels exciting. It is the one that keeps working when motivation disappears. That is the deeper pattern behind all of this. The paycheck arrives, life consumes it. The next paycheck arrives. Life consumes that one too. The person may own nicer things over time, but not more assets. The house is not theirs yet. The car keeps losing value. The credit card balance returns. The savings gets reset. And the future remains dependent on more labor. Nothing stayed. Not because nothing was earned, but because almost everything earned was assigned to keeping the present running. And no, this does not mean every dollar should be invested. Life needs money. Rest needs money. Family needs money. Enjoyment matters. You are not supposed to remove every good thing from your life just to watch an account grow. But if every dollar exists only to keep today comfortable, tomorrow never receives enough ownership to become different. So the goal is not to become cheap. The goal is to make sure your work, produces more than another completed month. Start by protecting the foundation. Build a realistic emergency buffer, not because cash will make you wealthy, but because long-term money cannot grow if every emergency keeps forcing you to pull it back. Your savings is not failing when it handles a real emergency. It did its job, but after the emergency, rebuild the protection so the next problem does not attack your future. Then create an ownership transfer. Choose an amount that can survive your real life, not an amount that looks impressive for 2 weeks, not a percentage that makes you feel guilty. A realistic amount. Move it automatically toward a retirement account or another long-term investment that fits your goals and risk. The amount can grow later. The first job is to stop making your future wait for leftovers. Then give every raise 2 jobs. Let some of it improve your life. You worked for it. But send part of it towards something that reduces your dependence on future paychecks, investments, retirement savings, high interest debt, a stronger emergency reserve. Do not allow every increase in income to become a permanent increase in pressure. And once a year, ask a harder question. After another year of working, what do I own now that I did not own before? Not what did I buy, not what did I upgrade, not what did I manage to pay. What stayed? What became stronger? What could keep growing even if next month's paycheck never touched it? That question changes how you measure progress, because working harder is not always the same as moving forward. Paying every bill is important. Keeping life together is important. Helping people you love is important. But your entire financial life cannot be built around disappearing. At some point, part of the work has to become something you own, something that stays, something that grows. Something your next paycheck does not have to rebuild. You are not trying to become obsessed with money. You are trying to become harder to financially break. And once you understand that wealth begins when income becomes ownership, the next question becomes harder. What happens when you finally create room for your future, but the people you care about keep needing pieces of it? Because helping family can come from love and still quietly delay your own stability. That is what the next video breaks down. If this made you look at money differently, subscribe to Fiscal Sense, because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to stop being financially easy to break.